Hi everybody and welcome for this stream. The stream is starting soon. I'm turning off the caption. That's great. Hi everybody and welcome in this afternoon live session, Campus with Anthony. This is the first stream since we did the initialization of the Mod Squad community. So I'm very happy to be here with you. It's a quite exciting moment, and we decide for this first stream to start with what is an application composition platform, because well, we did a lot of introduction stuff, and especially if you can get a look to the previous video, we can probably find a lot of content, definition stuff, and everything that could help you to understand why we believe in composition world, why we believe from to modularity and everything else. Hey, I can see that we have some lot of people in the chat, so I'm just enabling the chat overlay. Say hi to Brito and hi to Tom L from Norway. Oh, that's awesome. We have people from Norway. So I guess it's quite cold at this moment in Norway. If you want to share with us, the weather where you are, just put it in the chat. So here it's quite sunny in France today. Well, I'm in Brittany. It used to be, rainy, but for today it's okay. So we just need to enjoy that. Yeah, so what I want to say is, yeah, we have a lot of content we shared in the previous stream, but we thought that it could be very interesting to also start directly by explaining with example what an application composition platform is. So we are here for about 1 hour, maybe less, maybe a little bit more, and we will dive into the different things. What is 4C? What you can install an application composition platform such as Nintendo. Also, what are the different let's say section you can have in an ACP, and also composing things, deploy your components, managing a hub. Define components also, because you probably want to start with that, is to create and define your own components. 4 degrees in no way. Okay. So I need to put something on me. 4 degrees, my god. Now I think it could be very very beautiful. So I can see that 4 degrees, you have the sun, the snow. It could be very cool. But yeah, 4 degrees not very so much. Anyway, we should start. So maybe I can share my screen with you. So what I have interesting things, it could be maybe we can starting by define again what are the 4Cs. So I think it's something very interesting, especially if we talk about I need to share my screen with you. This should not be this screen. No. Yeah. So this is the first time I'm using Safari. It seems that I don't want to share the screen, or maybe I need to change from that to that. Maybe. What about? Okay, good. So let's display it differently. So I just turn off my camera to have more spaces here. Is okay. So we saw that in the previous stream is we have several roles you can play by using an ACP, and composability is the first thing is you can be a creator. So basically you design and create components or PBCs. So I think most of people there are developers. So you are a developer, you want to create one component or a set of components, or maybe a PBC. So just to define it properly, a PBC will be components that are help you to achieve a specific business goal. So something that could be to check out, to log in, to something very well defined, where you can also have component collection that are maybe for that could be not totally linked to a specific business area. Or you can also have templates. So if you want to provide some templates to compose pages in a specific way, you can also provide a package that only contain templates and etc. So you can create as a developer, you can be a creator. So you can create components and then you want to share them. So you want to share them on the hub, on a specific place where people can retrieve your components. So they can decide to which packages they want to install, and then inside select the component they want to compose the application with. Then so to manage this hub, you need to have somebody to do all the checks. So this is the curator. So the curator is specifically define what you can put on your hub, what are the policies you need to follow. If also it can do some checks if your package is compliant with the hub policy. So it's very interesting and very important to have this role well defined and to ensure that these things is well done, because it's also create a safe place for manage and share your components. Of course, when your components are available on this hub, you can select them, and so you enter into the compose step. So you can be a composer. So a composer is that could be a developer. You could be a developer and being also a composer, or you can also be less technical, maybe more business oriented people, and also compose application. I think it works for both of these roles. So I mean, you can be more business oriented or more technical oriented, and being a composer in for these two different cases. And even I think that could be very interesting to have a mixed team that include developers and business people, and then compose these things. So you can leverage from all these people, all these knowledge people. So it could be, I think, yeah, it should be the case, is you should leverage from everybody. Okay, so next, the last step is, of course, to consume your application. So that will mean you want to use your application as the final user. You want to monitor it. You want to change it. You want to do all these things. So you define also the different business goals you want to achieve. As a consumer, you want to ensure that all the things that have been done match with these goals. So you can also, this is why we say that we have a good continuous feedbacks loop between the final consumer, the different composers, of course, the creators and the creators. So we should leverage this synergy between all of these roles. So now we define that, and let's go back to with this. So okay, so now we define that, we can also understand what is the application composition platform. So what I can suggest is, if we want to have a better understanding of what an ACP could allow you to do, we can use Nintendo to do that. So first, the thing is, you can try it. I mean, locally, you can try Nintendo locally. So let me share my screen again. Is if you want to test Nintendo, I'm removing the chat anyway, by the way. Okay, let's do it like this. So if you want to start with Nintendo, you just need to go into the developersnintendo.com, and you need the first requirement is you need to install Multipass, because Multipass can create for you Ubuntu VM on your local environment, and then you just need to, through the CLI, install Nintendo, and it will create a new VM, a virtual machine, on Multipass to use Nintendo. So it's very easy, and it's very powerful, because that means when you've finished by testing, by using Nintendo, or if you want to create another application, another SCP, another instance of this SCP, you just need to create a new VM. So you can also delete the previous VM and create a new one, and you don't need to manage directly locally. Everything is doing inside your VM, your machine. So you can install it. So maybe I need to also go into some details. Is if, unfortunately, if you are using a Mac M1, so on the ARM architecture, you can't install Nintendo for the moment, because basically what will happen is when you create a VM, we will install K3s, that is a lightweight version of a Kubernetes distribution, and we'll download the different images, the Docker images from the Docker Hub, and then we will create all the different containers inside this Kubernetes distribution. But the thing is, we don't have any ARM version, so we don't have the images that are compatible with the ARM architecture. So you can't install for the moment Nintendo if you are using this architecture. Also, I think you can run these things on Windows, on Linux, and on Mac. Well, personally, I'm using Mac, and it works like a charm. It works like a charm. But I know that if you are using Windows, you need to have the Pro version to be able to enable Hyper-V. So I think that the Home edition doesn't allow that. So I know that there is some difference between Home and Pro and everything. So I'm not Windows expert anymore, because I don't use Windows for a while, but I know that in some cases you can have some troubles if you are using Windows. I mean the Home version. So it should work anyway with the Pro version. So when you did that, you need to wait maybe for 10 minutes, maybe 15. It depends on the time and all your connection is to download everything, build everything. So you don't need to do anything else. Just you copy and paste this, and everything will run smoothly on your environment. And then so that means the application should be available. So let me check that. Wait a moment. I need to check my, yeah. So here we are. So when you've done everything into a terminal, so you put these things on the terminal, you will be able to access, or at least to have access to this step, and saying, hey, the application is ready, you can access it directly here. And so you will be able to access your application. So let me do a lat check again. Okay, so I can remove that, and here we go. Perfect. So let me share my screen again. Okay, so this is my Nintendo application. So when you well, the first step, so I skipped the first step, is you need to define a new password for the admin account. That makes sense, but yeah, I already did that before the stream started. So I connect with the admin account, and then I define, well, the default password is admin, and the login is admin. And from that, I created or selected a new password, and then I have access to my dashboard. So we are here in the app builder. So basically, the space dedicated to, well, let's say compose, create, and manage your applications. So when you firstly start with this application, you can follow the wizard. So maybe we can do that. We can, just to understand exactly how it works, we can define, well, we can follow the wizard to also understand exactly what happens here. So just to summarize, what is it is we will create pages for our application from or let's say by composing them with components. So that's mean the first, well, the internet comes with a set of default components, but I'm pretty sure that what you want is to share here and to import it your component. So we will do it in the next in the next step, so after that. But let's first try to create the first page and to understand exactly what we are talking about when we say compose and page and everything else. So the wizard is probably the best thing to start with. Okay, so the app builder, we're using web contents, micro frontends, and microservice. That's great. So let's click on next. So we want to create a home page. Okay, great. So I want to create my home page, so the first page of my application. And then I can click on manage. Okay, page manage. Okay, next. So I just need to click on next and back. I don't need to directly click on the page element. So page that represents the page tree of your website. Click on create a new page. That's great. So I'm creating a new page here. So I can create a title, enter page title. Okay, so the title is Hello World App. That's fine. And then a code. I think the code is automatically defined from the title page, but maybe we can create a new one. And then choose a place within your site from your page. So we can define some, well, what can I say, tree where you want to put your page. So you can be on the root level, at the root level, or you can define sub levels. So I think for the default things, we will create it at the root level on the home folder. And yeah, we want it to be free access. Okay. And then we choose the template. So to make it clear, the template is how we want to compose the page, in what kind of different section we will have to compose this page. So that will mean I can have only one area where to put my components, or I can split my page into several different ones. It could be a top with a top section, with a body split into two different columns, and 3 lines or 2 lines or 3 columns. And it depends on what kind of template, what kind of pages you want to create. So by default, we choose the 1 columns one, and then we can click on save and design. Perfect. So let me check. So we can add a widget now. So that's great. That will mean, oh, okay, we are on the design page. So this is what I was talking about, is the different section we can see here define the different area where we can put some components. So that will mean I can select once and drag and drop it directly into my template. That's great. So let's continue. So click on, so we added the logo here. Click on pre-configured navigation menu widget to the page, design for top level response menu. Okay, so we have the navigation menu now. We click on next, the search form. That's great. So we click on next, prefiguring widget. So we put a widget in the in all the section, in each section, I mean. And then content list widget to page. So we put it here, a content widget. So a content widget is, we will define all this thing after. Maybe we will try to just browse the different components we have here. But The content widget allow you to embed content into your page. So CMS content. So that will mean, well, this is a no code feature. So you don't need to code anything to add your content. You just drag and drop your widget, and then you can select the content you have created before. That could be, for example, the blog post, I don't know, just a text section, just a description or something like this. Okay, so now we can click. So we added also the content list. So it could be, well, basically is the same thing, but to list different content in the dedicated section. And we have also the navigation menu at the bottom. So I click on next, and we can click on publish. Yeah, by default that means the page is not published. So you can't access. I mean, the page is not available for external people, or I mean users anyway. So click, and we should be able to click on preview, view preview page. Okay, what happens if I click here? I should be able to access to this new page containing all of my components. Let me check that. It's running. No, please. Okay. Okay. It takes some time, but it works. So, okay, so let me do some checks. So we have the logo here. Here we can see that this is the navigation menu. So we have 3 entries, and we have the search section, and the last one was the login. So everything is here. So we have the login here. That's great. And so the main frame is the content. So what is the content? This is the content. Oh, okay, this is the content. So as you can see, we have a title and maybe, well, let's say body content. And we also have a link. So if we click here, we can access directly to untitled.com. Okay, that's quite interesting. So that means we have the title, the body, the link, and the image. And then we have the list. So we have the list. So the list of elements. For example, here, I guess it's some different. Well, kind of blog post. Nintendo Egypto, it works. So if we click here, yeah, we access to some kind of, let's say it's something like a blog post here, you know. So or news, or a news section. So that means you can have a list of news, and if you click on it, you can access directly to this news. So that means I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 and 9, because we didn't talk about that, but we have also the menu on the bottom. We have 9 components into this page, and that means if I want to reuse, for example, this component that lists the different blog I have in another page, I can. I just need to. Oh yeah, maybe we can try that. Let me check. Let me do something. No, I will try to create a page by myself. So let's say we want to name it test ACP. So I need to, yeah, okay, let's put it on the home, at the home level, the root level. Yeah, we say we want it to be free access, and we can still use the 1 columns. And I think that's all. So we need to save and design. Okay, so I know I have the same page that, well, I mean the same design section that I have before. So if I want to add the same content, okay, so now I drag and drop it, the content, and what I can do is to say, okay, I want to configure my content widget. So because I probably have a lot of content in my application, I can create content whenever I want. It's just that which content you want to display into this page through these components. Okay, so I want to add an existing content. So I will probably able to select which content I want. Yeah, let's say why you need a macro fontaine. Okay, I choose this one. I can, the template. Oh yeah, this is the template. So, oh yeah, the template is the way I want to display the content. So if I check what I have, I can, for example, I have different templates, different kind of, different way to render a content. So I can render it as a detailed news. I can render it like list bullet, list item, or search results. So maybe we should, what happen? Let's check what happen if we choose the default values. But I think probably it will be, we should select the news detail. I don't know. Let's save it. So then we need to publish and click on view publish page. Yeah. So we create a new content with the news details. So it's not exactly the same that we had before. By the way, we choose the modern platform for modern UX. So maybe we should change that. So let's try to configure it again. Settings. Yeah, it's settings. So we can change content. Oh, I can change the content. Add the new content? No. No, new content. Add the new content is to create a new content from. Oh, I clicked. I was too quick. I clicked too quickly. Okay. Let's me. So click on settings. Add existing content. No, you don't want to let me add some content. Okay, maybe I can delete it anyway. No, you don't want to let me to delete it? Oh, okay. So let's try to create, to define a new content from scratch. No, I can't. No, I don't want to add a banner. Okay, so it seems we have some trouble, so it don't allow me to try to create a new content. What happens if I put a content list instead? Okay, so if the content list is a bit different, because instead of displaying one content, it's allow me to select a list of elements. No, I can select only once. Okay, let's try all extra option. Okay, nothing special. Content list. Oh, okay, my God. I have a button that is put had, and I was trying to select all the elements. Okay, so that should work. Okay, I've selected all the elements, and then I need to publish the page again and view the publish page. So what happened? Yeah, so I list all the elements. So the first one is why you need macro front-end platform for Kubernetes, Nintendo and Jeep, so it works. About us. That's interesting. I lost my. Okay, here we go. So yeah, I don't want to play with the wizard anymore. Okay, anyway, so we created a page with the wizard, and to understand, oh, we can create a page and everything. It was quite interesting. And then we also play with some existing content. But maybe what we want to now do is to, what happens if I want to create my own components first, and then what happens if I want to share this component, or I mean to deploy this component, to make this component available into this application. So I don't know if you people know what Gypster is. So at Nintendo, we believe that Gypster and the Gypster community is a really great tool. So Gypster is a really great tool, and Gypster community is a really great community we want to work with. And the Gypster community, well, I mean, the Gypster generator allow you to generate components, or that means generate applications, cloud native applications using Spring Boot and Angular, React, or Vue for the front end to create applications. So what we did at Nintendo is, through the blueprint technology, so that is here, the blueprint technology allows you to change the way Gypster is working. So that means you can override some Gypster sections, Gypster steps, and to add elements that are missing, or to ensure that the application you are generating is working as you expect. So I mean, out of the box. So the interesting things is, if we want to create a complex application, I mean complex components using microservices and macro frontends, we can use the Gypster blueprint. Why? Because Gypster, well, I mean the Nintendo Gypster blueprint, because at Nintendo we decide to create a blueprint to change a bit the way all Gypster works, and to ensure that we can create components to start quickly with the ACP. It seems I don't have any music anymore, so I should add some music. So what about if you put some chill music? Yeah, that's good. I like to play with, I like to, well, to work with music. So if you like to work with music, please tell me in the chat what kind of music you are listening when you are working. Okay, so we want to create components. So we can do that directly by using the CLI Gypster. So maybe we can just try to, let me, oh, I'm not on the, okay. Okay, that works. So I don't know why it was not working. Yeah, so I was saying, maybe if you want to test Gypster to create your components, you can do it directly by clicking Ant Gypster Blueprint Nintendo, and automatically it will run. Oh yeah, excuse me, I need to initiate this. So let's try to do it by using the tmp tech test Nintendo, and we can run by using the Gypster Blueprint Nintendo. Yes. Oh, yes. Okay. And basically, Gypster will run, and you will be able to select. Oh, I have some error. What happened here? Yeah, probably I don't have the right version. I guess because I don't have the right version of Gypster, so maybe npm. No. I think we should use the 6.10.5, I think, because I'm using different version of Gypster when, you know, I'm contributing to it, because I'm a core Gypster member. So I used to switch between the different version of Gypster, and sometimes I'm not choosing the right version. So this is why, you know, probably that for, I mean, people that are not using Gypster in outside, Nintendo, or if you are always sticking to, I mean, the last version of Gypster, you will probably not face to this kind of errors. That's true that as a contributor, you always need to switch into different version, and sometimes to version that have not been published, because I don't know, you want to work on a specific dedicated branch and specific version that is not a public version. Yeah, so let's do another try. So yes. Okay, so I think it should work. No, I still have errors. What happened here? Oh, no. And define is not iterable. I would like to do a last try, but anyway, I didn't expect to, well, do a Gypster demo anyway here. The thing is, I have some prepared application that should work directly that have been created. Yeah, so let's forget that. I mean, I need to do some, well, checks, and probably that for the moment is not ready to be used. So, so I have to here. These are the different application, the two different application I use during my last CodeMotion presentation. So I have one that only contains microfountains that display elements with charts, with using chart.js, and another one that is a backend that is microservice. Made in Java Spring Boot. So we can access, we can check this different application here. So we have the child chart that is basically cell chart that is basically contains only the microfountains, and we have also the sales reporting that is the backend. So I define it different steps you need to you need to follow to deploy these things. So when you handle components, what you need to do, you need to handle the code sources repository that will, like any other project, contains all the sources you will work with. So this project contains, I mean, a bar chart. For example, this is bar chart. Microfountains made with React. You have all the JavaScript code here. So maybe we should check. So you have the JavaScript code here. You have the component that is a chart.js component that I define, you know, lines and something. Oh, in this case, it's bar. Excuse me. And you have the same for the line, so you have two different React components. Anyway, this is the code sources, and what we want to do is to work with this code. I mean, among the team, share this code and commit, and maybe different version, and write some tests and etc. But when we want to share it with the rest of the community to put it in the hub, what we want to do is to package it, and for these purposes we define a bundle. So the bundle is, let's say, it's the artifact used by our SCP to share the different components. So what I will do is what I want to do is when I have an application that contains components and I want to share it, so I will wrap it, or I will wrap the different artifact into a bundle. And this is the bundle. The bundle is the element I will share with the creator into the hub. So unfortunately for today, I don't have any hub available. So we can imagine that the hub is handled by GitHub for the moment. So this is why I have the bundle here. So I've created another repository that contains the bundle. It's the sales chart bundles. So here I have the sales chart that contains the code sources, and the sales chart bundles contains only tagged version. So I have, if you check, I have two tags. So the v001 and the v002 that have been tagged for a specific reason and contains all the final JavaScript code. So you should not edit this code. You should not directly commit to this repository, because all this code is coming from a build from this repository. So when I build all these things, and when I push it, when I want to push it, when I want to tag it, and when I want to share it, I will push it into this bundle and tag a new version. So basically, this is what I have defined in the README is. So we define the bundle sources, the bundle src folder that contains the default, let's say the descriptor, the main descriptor that define what you can have into your bundle. So you need to create a bundled folder from this folder, and then you just need to initiate the project if you did it firstly. Then you need to build of the macro frontends, so to generate final JS files and CSS and maybe also resources files. And then if you did it first, also you need to do it only once, is to initiate the publishing system. So the publishing system is the way the CLI will know where you need to publish your bundle. So basically, when you will init this, you will define this repository as the target repository. And from that, you will be able to, well, at least publish a new application. So to publish new version, that means when I publish a new version, I will take the code in my bundle folder in the sources project, and I will move it, I will push it into this bundle repository and tag it. Like something like, hey, this is my version, this is the final version, you can use it because I did all the tests, I'm pretty sure. And if we have a hub, by the way, it will be like, hey, Mr. Creator, you should check this bundled version. This is my last one, and I would like to share it with the other people. So please check it and let me know if we can share it with the rest of the community. So as I said, we don't have any curators and we don't have any hub. So maybe we will be able to directly deploy this bundle into my application. But first, we need to do it with the cell reporting. So of course, because the cell reporting, as I said, is a different repository. So the sources are here. This bundle doesn't contain any macro frontend. It contains only a macro services. And this macro services is needed to the chart because it exposes some data, some contents used by the charts. So the little differences, between the macro frontend and the macro services is the macro services it's not something you can drag and drop into your page because it's running as a backend application. So that means when you deploy it, Nintendo will create the containers you need to make it works inside your Kubernetes environment. And that's mean when it has been deployed, your micro frontend can access to the different APIs. But because basically your application will probably expose APIs. So it works, well, I mean, the differences between the sources and the bundle works like with the same things that we have with the micro frontend. So everything I explained before is also true if you are using the only backends things. By the way, we can also imagine having self-reporting and self-chart into the same bundle. So when we provide this bundle, we will be able also to provide both the backend and the macro frontends. We don't need to split them into two different bundles. Well, I did it for a specific reason because I wanted to explain the differences we can have by having two creator team that are working into two different areas and then share these two different components into a hub and let the composers use their components to create an application. But it's always depending on what you want to do, or your team is organized, and what kind of people you have in your team. But we can easily imagine having one application, well, I mean, one repository that contains both the micro frontend and the microservices to generate two different bundles, or even only one bundle. Okay, so a lot of things here, but what we want to do is not to deploy these things. So if I go back here, I will probably starting by the sales reporting. So the sales reporting is my application that allow me to expose an API. So this is my backend, my microservice. And what I want to do is, so I think I don't need to build it again. Probably I just need to deploy because I did all these things previously. So let's try to deploy it directly into Nintendo. Yeah, by the way, because my application, my CLI is defined to use my local Nintendo, I don't need to tell him where he needs to deploy the application. The profile used here is the quick start Nintendo, means you can use, or you should use, you are connected to the quick start environment. That is the one we created before for local purposes. If I want to, let's say if I want to deploy into, I don't know, a continuous integration environment that is available on any cloud provider such as Amazon, Google, or Azure, I will be able to switch to my profile, switch the profile I want to use, and execute this command to target this new environment, this different environment. Okay, so I have deployed. So we can see that the deploy step is very simple. Is we want to be sure our application knows that this bundle is available, and we can access to the repository here that will list all the different bundles available. So that means inside this section, I will be able to have access to all the components. Oh, it's not exactly the components, it's the bundles in which you can find the components. That is a bit different because, as we said, we can have, oh, I don't have any, but, oh, excuse me, here. Okay. That's great. So I have my cell reporting here. So because I ask my CLI to deploy my application, I now have access to my cell reporting. But as you can see, this has not been installed because I only ask for deployment. So I make it available. If I'm using a hub, this will be a bit different. Instead of deploying directly into my application, I would like to deploy it into the hub, and then from my application, select the hub to retrieve my, or let's say, discovering the hub from my application and select the element I want to add directly by using the UI. So it will probably also a different user experience using mostly the UI and not the CLI. Okay, so let's try to install it. I hope it will work. So basically what will happen is we are installing, so we are retrieving the Docker image from my Docker Hub account, where my Spring Boot, my Docker image that contains my Spring Boot application is available. And we are retrieving it, we are installing it, creating all the containers inside our Nintendo environment, and then our macro frontend we will be able to consume these different APIs. So this installation step can take a few times because we need to start the backend application and so on. So I think maybe we can try to check if okay. I don't know if I can. Do you have a better view? Okay. So as you can see here, okay, excuse me. Okay, you can see it. Okay, so this is the different containers that are running on my Nintendo environment, on my Kubernetes cluster. And this, everything that is starting with quick start is the containers needed to make Nintendo work. So I didn't manage everything here. I just, when I ran the Nintendo CLI command, everything popped for me. So everything here from quick start and Nintendo operator has been created for me. But because I ask my Nintendo application to deploy my microservice for me, we can see that we have two new containers. That is the sales reporting deployer and the sales reporting link deployer. That are two different containers to make my application work. So my application is still in the testing process. Maybe because also my application takes times to start, because it depends also on what kind of element we need to have. So and you can see that the servable deployment is on the creating process. So this container will contains our application. So it's creating. So Nintendo is creating for us all the container we need. So let's try to do the same thing, but with not at the back end, but with the front end. Oh, by the way, I think we need to wait that we can't install two components at the same time. So let's try to find if this has been done. No, it's still in process. So if we want now to do the sales, not the sale reporting, but it will be the sale chart here, we need to do the same and PRG deploy. Once again, everything that we already have the bundle prepare ready and tag and so on, so we don't need to do it again. But of course, if you are starting from scratch, what you will need is to initiate all the different steps. So if you want to learn more about that, maybe you should access to developer.nintendo.com, and when you have installed it, you have the next steps here. And we provide a great documentation by explaining all the things you can do. And we also have a great learn path, I think. Let me check learning path. So if you want to do what I did, is starting by the front-end development or the back-end development, depending on what kind of component you want to create. You can start by the different basic, intermediate, and advanced. Well, probably start by the basic, by the way, but it start basic. It will explain you to build and publish a simple bundle, I don't know, to build a publish a project bundle, to also export a bundle from an external application, that also works. So for example, if you access to this, you have the different tutorial to create and explain you in details exactly what kind of elements you need to create. And it's very interesting because what I am demonstrating is what I can do with my ACP to compose an application using components. But once you have when you have see that, you probably want also to do it by yourself, but step by step. I think it's very interesting, I mean, from developer point of view, to also be able to test by ourselves, and but to do it smoothly, to take time to, well, create the descriptor, understand why we need the main descriptor, what we need a descriptor per component. That we mean you have a main descriptor that describe the whole bundle, but you also have one descriptor per component, because you need to define the different descriptor, the different components with details who you have into your bundles. And then, for example, to publish the bundles, so to initiate the bundles, to initiate, or the project, excuse me, to initiate the publishing system that will allow you to define the Git repository that will contain the bundle, as we said, and etc. And publish and deploy. This is exactly the step we did. So we started directly from that, because every previous step have been done previously, of course. So if you want to check all these things, so maybe if you want to, you can start by this. Let me check it into your, so you have it, you have access it to the chat is publish a simple bundle. But if you want to have access to all the learning path, I will also share it with you, so you have access to all the learning paths. Let me check. So we need to refresh our application again. What happened here? So I think our bundle should be available. It seems it's not. Let me check. Okay, maybe I have some troubles with my UI. I think it should be available anyway. So I have my cell chart that contains the micro frontends. I also have my microservices. Well, let's try to install the micro frontends once. So now if we have this, we have the cell reporting. The cell chart should be, I mean, easier to, well, it's not a question of difficulty, but it takes less time, of course, because it only contains JavaScript files. So you just need to deploy the application. So let me do a quick check. Sign in. I just want to be sure I didn't remove my image, Docker image. No, it's present here. So I would like to check it with you. Okay, so this is my Docker Hub account, and you can see that we have the set reporting image here that is present here. So basically, Nintendo will try to download this image to create the different containers. Okay. Okay, so I have it installed. I just want to try, because I don't know if I have some trouble. Maybe I have a bug with the UI. I need to check that, because I was thinking my set reporting. Okay, we should also be able to access the log. So if you click, so and kubectl logs. Okay, so you can see that for people that are, I already use a Spring Boot application. So we can see that here we have access to the log application that are the Spring Boot log. So we have a lot of things we don't, we will have this one. So the application has been started using Spring Boot, the Spring Boot logo you can see here. So I think everything is correct. It's just that probably exposing to endpoint and sales reporting. So that's good. So that's, you can still having access to the different logs, by the way. So if you want to do that, what you need is to select the, well, it depends on the name, but let's say the application name server deployment container. So you need to copy the name here. And when you are, you can create, open a new terminal, and you can use the ant kubectl. So you can directly run a kubectl log or kubectl commands from, and then you need to put the name. Oh, I did a mistake. I did an error. I need to remove that. But when you put everything, you have access to the log. Okay, so I think the deployment is correct. It's just maybe I should, just to explain you, I should not have the install button. I should have the uninstall button, but I guess sometimes the UI is maybe have some bugs here. Okay, off. So I would like to delete this one, so we don't need to have the content list anymore. So if I publish and view the publish page, so my page is empty. I have nothing. And as I said, I can't drag and drop, excuse me, microservices, because it's running as a backend. So for the moment, it's running as, my application is running as a backend. So what I can do is to select, for example, the bar charts microphone 10. So if you remember well, we said that in the code sources we have the bar chart and the line chart. So under this user section, I decide to select the bar chart, publish my page, and if I check my page, I should be able to see my, oh, I have a bug. Once again, this is not my day. Well, okay, so it seems we have some troubles with the backend. So the application is working. So I mean the microphone, and we can't say anything because we don't have any data, but it seems that the API stat is not working. So I didn't see any error here. The music is ending. Okay. I'm just trying to find if we have any issue here, but as I can see, everything seems to be correct. Yeah, so we have the same thing. And says reporting API stats cells. Yes, it should be the right. Maybe my path is not correct. Stat cells. This is why I don't really understand what happened. Probably that my stats, let me check. So we have this reporting. Maybe I should check directly into the bundle what we define. Says reporting. the ingress path. So it's basically the default path, and we have sales reporting, API start sales. Yeah. So it should work. What happens if I sign out? Because I'm just wondering if maybe we have some bug here. No, it's still in. Okay. I want to do a last try. So maybe I'm just wondering if maybe I should just stop and start my application again. So I don't think it will take too many times. Well, we can do a try with that. We can. Oh no, excuse me. We can try to use the multipass stop action. So it will shut down my application. So it will shut down my virtual machine. And what I want to do is to start it again. So maybe, I don't know why, for some reason, I have some trouble with my environment. So this is something that I could happen. So, this is the demo effect anyway, because I do all these things every time, and I've never, it's always working, but for sure for today, because we are streaming, we are all together, it is not working as expected. Okay, the system is going down to power off. That's okay. So it's Nintendo. So multipass is starting the Nintendo. Nintendo virtual machine again. So it takes less time. Than we have if we do it from scratch. If we install everything from scratch, of course, because it will just start the different containers. So we can open a new terminal here, and let's try to check the different pods. So kubectl get pod, and you can add the W as watch. So that means it will try to watch everything. Everything is already started? No. Yeah, okay. It was the previous things. So it will start everything. So you can see that everything is started again. So I don't know why we have all the previous container that have been, oh, excuse me, my bad. We don't know why we have all the previous container here, but like, the history. But what we want to check is this new one. The connection has been refused. Okay. Service. Okay, so I really have some troubles. What happened? That's why I think our application will not be available. Yeah, makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, so now it's available. I don't know why. So we should start. We should wait. So maybe I have some trouble also with my environment anyway. So what we can do is just to take this time, and then what time is it? Oh yeah, it's really close to the end. So what is interesting is maybe I can also share. Let me check if I have this. What is it interesting in what we saw, and it's working. Let's check that. So what I wanted to show you is what about if we compose this reporting application? So, and in this case, we can exactly understand what are the different advantages of using an ACP, because here, so this scenario, this is the scenario I defined for the code mission to explain in 25 minutes what are composability and application composition platform. But from my developer experience, I'm sure, I won't say I'm sure, but I'm quite confident that this scenario is something you probably already met in your developer life. I mean, you have different teams that are working on different applications, but these applications need each of them, or I mean, we need both of them to compose something more important, something bigger, because we have the team A that is building the macro frontends, the different chats, and we have the team B that are building the backend. So sometimes it's something happen. I mean, in my developer experience, is something I met is you have team that are specialized into creating APIs, and they are creating backends that are defining, maybe also consuming different APIs, and expose something simpler or something more easier to use for any other team or any other application. So something, let's say, I don't want to say a generic API, but something to be easily used by the different team inside your company. So let's say you are into a company, you want all the people to easily consume your different APIs, so you can decide to create these components with different versions also. And so when you create a new application, what you need to do is just to install these APIs, this backend application that will automatically connect to different data sources and will expose the API inside your application composition platforms. And then you can create all the components you want to work with, all the different components into your applications, because all these components will probably match with a specific business need. When, for example, the API is something more at the company level. Well, of course, it's just an example. You can also imagine the same for macro frontend. You can also define macro frontends to be reused across the company. Let's say, for example, I want to define several components using a design system, and what I want to do for my developer team is to allow them to not spend a lot of time by creating all the graphic components from scratch. Let's say if you have a login, for example, maybe a login page or the login, component on the top and everything else. You want every time you need to create a new one every time, saying what are the font we need to use, what are the colors, should we need to add a disconnect button, what all the buttons should be, and etc. So you spend a lot of time by doing the same thing you did in the past, or I mean somebody else did for you in the past. So if you create components inside your company to help the new team, the different team that will come and create new application, you will also allow us to be more focused on their business goals. So what this application should do, I'm pretty sure that this application should not manage the login system. It just want to use it. It just want to manage it at all. So if you want to manage it, you need, or if you don't want your team to spend time to manage with all this stuff, what you need to do is to provide generic components using, for example, a design system to ensure also that they are using the right colors and the right elements. That is very interesting. So anyway, this is exactly the kind of scenarios I wanted to define here, and I wanted to share with you, because this is something I met a lot of time in my experience. Every time it's the same. Okay, team, we want to create this application. So we have the minimum, or let's say the minimum components we need to have. but all we need to define it. Okay, I will ask to this team, and then I will ask to this person, and I will ask to this manager, and you say, well, I don't know, you should ask to this guy and to this person, to this woman, and you spend a lot of time. If you are using components, just drag and drop at them. Okay, so anyway, let's try to check if our application is working. It seems I have some trouble with my local application. I don't know why. Oh no, it's okay. It seems to work. No. Okay. I think yeah. This is something. I'm sorry, team, because this is something happened to me before. I don't know why. It seems that my local environment is broken. Oh, everything is running, but you can see that we have so many restarts. So I think I have some troubles with some of my containers that are trying to start. But you know what happened is if some of them didn't or fail to start, they are crashing and starting in Kubernetes is trying to launch them again and etc. So I don't know why. I'm pretty sure that this is the first time that this happened to me. I met that also during the morning, so I guess I have some troubles also with my local environment. I need to check that. So anyway, so we didn't have a chance to I'm sorry, to ensure that everything is working as I wanted to show you. So basically, just compose macro front-end and using microservices behind that. But we did a lot of things, so that is very exciting. We create or we discover a lot of things about the application composition platform. So I hope this helps you to have better understanding. So this was the first session of the Mod Squad live YouTube session. So the next week it will be my colleague Soini that will host this session. We will probably also have some code and chill session during the week. We need to define exactly what exciting content. So I have a lot of things I would like to explore, some Gypster stuff. I would like also to create some components using Vue.js. So I'm not a Vue.js expert, so this is probably something I would like to learn with you. So if you are a Vue.js expert, you drop something in the chat or tag us on Twitter and say, hey, I want to help you. We want to do something together. It will be a really great moment for us. If you want to join us on Discord, you can access to our Discord. We have the Discord for the Mod Squad community. So I suggest you to join us on Discord. So let me drop the link quickly. Where is my link? Here we go. So we have the link here. So feel free to click on it and access the Discord, and we will have a really great time. So this is the place to be. If you want to follow us also on Twitter, so at everydayforg for me and at this Soini for Soini. And of course, we share a lot of things there and all the news and yeah, also very exciting things. So you team, I wish you a very good day. Happy to spend this time with you. And I wish you a good Thursday and see you next week. Bye-bye.